uh, is something I'm gonna look into. Yeah, right. Look into fairly soon. I gotta do some shopping for it. I've just been too busy to. Anyway. Yeah, that's what my internet keeps doing. But it's not my internet. It's actually just my stream PC. My laptop's fine. So I know it's just the PC. My laptop's totally fine. It's just the PC. What was I saying before? I was gonna say a thing. Oh, okay. So here's the sequence of events. Right. We have yesterday Diablo comes in and it's like, hey, do the Cash for Chaos thing, but make it Iron Man. If you are watching a stream, I'm currently holding up the CFC Mini, in which it did not come out as Iron Man. It came out as McDonald's.
Oh,
This is the McDeath guard of the McSpace Marine or
no,
McSpace McMarines. I don't know. It's a McMarine. I don't know. Anyway.
I'm McFallen.
Yeah. Yeah, brother, I'm McFallen.
I'm McFallen, and I choose not to get up.
Yeah. So I just realized it looked like McDonald's at some point just on my own. It just struck me and I was like, oh, it's ruined. This is definitely no longer Iron Man. Diablo thought that was so funny, he sent me more money to then finish the job and make a Big Mac box for the base. So I am currently indeed literally fabricating out of sprue a Big Mac box that will then be painted, as you'd imagine, like a Big Mac box.
Nice.
I am not sure. This probably is the most cursed that this thing has become so far. Like CFC stuff. And yes, I thought it was so cursed I made an entire short about it, and I'm probably going to make more shorts along that format, because...
That short was formatted very well. I like the jump cutting with just your face because of the green screen as you're saying it, like around the thing in different angles and zooms is really,
yeah.
Really good. I like it.
What'd you think of the music choice?
I don't remember. I think I had taken a massive hit and I was swiping through my YouTube shorts and I randomly saw it in my feed. So
well, good. It means it gets out to people.
Why does this guy look familiar? Like, oh shit, it's Table. It was like, and I wasn't looking at your short specifically. I was just scrolling through shorts and it showed up.
Perfect. Yeah, go watch it again. Like, legit. I need constructive criticism because I'm gonna make more of these.
When I go to bed tonight, I'm gonna leave my phone with that looping next to my bedside. Overnight. You're gonna wake up to 2,000 views.
I mean, that would do it.
Want, I could stream my thing to you, my game, put it in a corner or something.
You mentioned that last time. I still have not set that up.
How much would it take to set up?
I don't know, like...
You just have to do like an ad thing on OBS for a new like desktop source, and then just size it around the like video on Discord, and then you can pop it wherever you want. Or even better yet, make it a Discord stream source for like the video. Actually, no. Desktop would probably work better.
You should probably be aware. I went to bed at 3:30 this morning, and I woke up at 6:30 this morning, and I have been working since.
Sad.
I got up, took a shower, got to work. I made that short. I launched that government website. It is now live, and I am now making this McDonald McMarine.
Not the McMarine.
And I am nearly delirious. Despite, I think, my fourth Go Gamer Subs, Go, whatever it's called. The Go-Go juice.
Gamer Subs flavor. You know, I'm sure you do. So Jay Schlatt owns the company now, so you can get just like the most ridiculous flavor names.
Yeah, we've
It's only because of Jay Schlatt did they have titty milk now. He said he talked on stream that he wanted to have another one named Cum Shot, but they wouldn't let him go that far.
This has actually already been passed out to the community, and we've come upon our current name, the current name we're going with, which is Cult. C-U-L-T, meaning cranberry under the lemonade of table, for cranberry lemonade.
That's not okay.
But it's gonna be just shown initially as the C.U.L.T. with like literally a like underground satanic cult looking thing going on in the background. Like at the time I said if the art does not cause a resurgence of the satanic panic, we have failed. The other one that I thought was oh, now I forget. Nope, now I forget. Actually, I remember half of it. I'm trying to remember the flavor part. Oh, I think it was just tabletop turpentine. I forget what flavor I was gonna make it, but yeah, tabletop turpentine or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Fuck! I almost let the enemies just charge their FTL at me. No,
Yeah, I think that's good. I'll use that as the cut point. Alright, I need to prime this thing.
I got you on the screen behind me now. I can actually look at stuff.
Yeah, I think I got this more or less. It's not perfect, but I think this will do. I need to prime it and paint it now. Do I want to break out my whole airbrush thing just for that, or do I just want to brush prime this?
The real question is, are you about it?
Am I what?
Are you about it?
At this exact second, in reality, not even my life or my existence, but just reality as a whole. Not really.
Yeah, you ain't about it, bro. You won't pull out the airbrush for that detail. You ain't about it.
Not for that one tiny thing.
If you were about it, you'd pull that airbrush out for this stuff.
I would be. If I had gotten any amount of sleep, I probably would.
Cringe.
It's been a busy week. And it,
Cringe
so,
and sad.
before the 3 hours of sleep, I worked 11 hours yesterday. 11 hours on the clock. And I am...
11 hours on my clock. What?
I am nearly 11 hours again today, already. Like, I'm at, like, 9.5 hours of work right now.
Nah, your stream just started. That means that you just started. You should have full energy.
You know how you live in a GTA server? That means no one will even notice what will happen later. It's just background noise. Have I told you about how No Man's Sky been going lately?
A little.
So, since the stream Saturday, in which case I couldn't remember how to do anything, I went back and, like, I got sucked right back in. I got sucked right back into playing No Man's Sky, and, after a day, I remembered how to do everything, and I was doing all the stuff, and, oh boy, have things escalated substantially. I have now not only my freighter, but I have my own personal air wing of fighters and an armada of frigates.
AI controlled, or do you have like
AI.
people? Okay.
Nah, AI.
The game was almost dope.
I mean, I could get people, I just don't care to actually go talk to people. I still have not done anything with other humans in that game. I could, it's not hard.
Not even in video games. I refuse to socialize even in video games.
Yeah, I don't know what it's something about like it being No Man's Sky specifically. I'm like, I just want to do it solo. How many frigates do I have now? I have nearly 25 frigates, including bio frigates. I have space squids the size of battleships under my command, going out and doing missions. I also...
Dude, my brain is so rotted. I hear the word squid, and the first thing that pops in my mind is Skyda's Minecraft voice going, "Squid!"
That is
God damn it.
Serious brain rot right there.
We awakened a memory. We just awakened a memory. I just lost the game because of you.
Good. You deserve it. After that squid!
Squid!
So... something like 25 frigates. I really should probably just pull my airbrush out. This is gonna take so much longer because of the way this primer works with a brush. Anyway, I also have my own town. I run a town now.
Okay.
I'm not joking. I legit have a settlement that I literally run, and they pay me based on the productiveness and happiness of the townspeople. And it works just like a Western in the sense that when dangerous stuff shows up, like Sentinels attack, I am the one that has to go in there and kill a ton of Sentinels. Oh, when did that happen? What? Okay, pick up my airbrush. The needle is bent nearly 90 degrees.
Oh no! That's not good. It's not good at all.
Check the screen out. That's what I just picked up. I don't appreciate that.
Oh, that's bad. Do you have a replacement? That's not fixable, is it?
Oh no, I can fix that. I have needle nose pliers right here. It's not gonna be perfect, but it'll be usable. It's just annoying.
I can't close all my doors remotely. Oh no, I'm actually going to suck in that. I'm gonna... This is it. I'm pissing. I'm pissing and crying. I'm pissing, crying, and coming.
So...
active right now. No, avoid the conflict. Okay, thank God. I might be able to save myself. The two healthiest men don't fix it.
So as it stands, every time I log into No Man's Sky, my unit, like the currency, my currency value goes up an average of 7 million.
Oh my gosh.
This is a game where you do genuinely sell things for like 10 units and buy things for like 100 units. Like, it's not just arbitrarily inflated numbers. It's just that's the level of economic power I have now. Because I'm sending out 3 to 5 frigate like missions where they go out and like kind of do their own thing and come back with a bunch of money and resources. And I can craft extremely valuable tech items I can sell for a lot of money. I've only pulled it off once because it takes a ton of stuff to do it, but there's an item I can craft that I can then sell for over 15 million credits.
Is that a lot? I don't know what the economy like in that game. How much would a cabbage cost?
Like...
That's my easiest reference. How much would one head of cabbage cost?
I want to say like 15 units?
15? Okay.
So
50 million is actually a decent fucking like, chunk That's a lot of money.
Yeah, I can nearly buy another freighter, like, new. with,
This is
my...
so if it's 15 units, then that means you have like 500 million berries.
My cash worth, not my net worth, my cash worth right now is like 42 million units. I can straight up buy a brand new freighter if that was a thing you could go out and do. Unfortunately, you can only really get freighters from other captains. You don't even get them from the captains, you just like hire the captain with his ship, but anyway.
Yeah,
Like there's no store for freighters or frigates or spaceships. It's like you have to like as you're going through systems, they're constantly warping in and out these fleets, these trade fleets of freighters and their frigate escorts, and sometimes some of them are like up for being hired out of their fleet and into your fleet. And most frigates are, to hire a frigate is usually between 1 and like actually I don't think I've ever seen an S rank frigate. Most A's classes I've seen have been like the 12 million, around 12 million. I think I saw one for like 15 million. Those are super rare though, like they're legitimately actually rare. Fortunately, it doesn't take as nearly as much as I thought to level up frigates. So now I am actually just buying up any frigate that seems to have good modifiers on it, because it'll level up eventually anyway.
To your fleet, or like a limiting factor to how big your fleet can get? Like if you don't have enough fuel, you can't support them or something like that?
Well, you craft fuel, so that's not a problem. There's 2 practical limits, though I've not found a hard limit. So, on any given day, the guy that gives you, like, missions you can send frigates out on... What am I looking for over here? Oh yeah, my box. Where's my box? All my stuff's an absolute disaster, because I'm setting up for that wall repair. Oh. The box is right over there. Reach with the foot. No, I'm behind the basket.
How can we put this?
I got it.
Fire the weapons, Mort.
I got it. I messed up my green screen, I think, but I got it. Oh wait, no.
Bug.
No, I did. It's good. We're good. Okay, so the guy that gives you the frigate missions, like he maps them out and whatever, he only does like 5 a day, and you can only send up to 5 ships per mission. So like, practically speaking, 25 is your practical limit as to how many you can send out in a day. However, there are different types of missions and different specializations of the frigates. So, it's still like, you probably want a bunch. I think you could probably get out more at a time, as I don't know when that whole thing, like, ticks over. You know what I mean? Like, when the missions refresh, and the missions are based on real time, so there's, like, the longest missions are, like, nearly 24 hours that your ships are out doing stuff. So, I guess in theory, you could do a bunch more, maybe? Like I said, I've not figured out when they tick over, so possible. I don't know. For now, I'm just buying a bunch of frigates. Oh, it would probably help if I turned my airbrush on, huh? it's such a small object, it's actually going to be longer to prime this than normal. Because it's not enough time, or like it takes... I have to wait for it to dry, basically, a bunch. Okay, I will say there is an arbitrary limit in that you can only have one freighter at a time, and you can only oversee one settlement at a time. Why? I don't know. I don't know why there's a limit on that. I don't see any, like, good reason for that. I would love to build up an actual empire and, like, real armada. It's already cool enough that, or it's already really cool to watch when I summon my freighter in and then all my frigates come in after it, and you just seeing this huge restaging of a ton of ships. But yeah, I mean, they're still putting out like pretty significant content add-ons to that for free, so that might be a thing we get later. I mean, the whole freighter frigate settlement stuff, that was all added way later. None of that was in the base game. Oh, and I finally got to the point where I could start upgrading my freighter with a bunch of stuff. So, like, it has its own teleportation array in it. So I barely have to actually fly my fighter anymore unless I'm going to new places. I'm just teleporting between everywhere. My settlement, space stations. I'm steadily building up a farm inside the freighter as one of the most important crafting things. You need a bunch of a specific plant to craft. So you can craft acid, which then you craft a bunch of other valuable stuff out of.
Yeah.
And my idea is that eventually I will start making my way towards the galactic core, because why not? Supposedly there's some cool stuff over there. There's also like there's some whole categories of systems I can't get into yet because I don't have the right kind of shielding. That supposedly have really high level.
Like a heat shield, or like it's the stars, like a radiant stars and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like a radiation shield.
Right, it's like that's a red star, so you need like cadmium shielding, and then because of that, then you'll be able to go in there and have easy access to cadmium, of course, which can be used for a whole bunch of other stuff.
Welcome to the crewfish.
And then what was I gonna say? There's still one significant practical upgrade I'm working on getting, which is, it takes 5 of these salvage modules that are pretty hard to get a hold of because they're really rare. It's a Materium teleportation array, basically, so as long as my frigate is in system, I can remotely access my frigate's inventory, which means basically infinite inventory. Because in my frigate, I can build, and already have built, a huge storage container array that's part of that access. So effectively, once I get that upgrade, I have infinite inventory in No Man's Sky. Do you even understand how big of a deal that is? Oh, and I found a whole new mission type recently.
Whole new mission type?
Yeah, derelict freighters. You can get these signal things that you can plug into your fighter, and while you're going through, like, it's like semi-FTL to, like, move between planets quickly. It can loop through the signals and pick one up, and then when you come out of that, it's called pulse drive.
Mm.
There's an abandoned freighter that you can go inside of and loot and stuff. With a whole bunch of weird dangers and stuff. It adds a bunch... I mean, no combat in No Man's Sky is truly scary, but they make it initially look kind of creepy because it's like very Dead Space feel with a cold environmental danger built in. And they are like, no saves are made while you're inside a derelict freighter, like when you land. So it's like, oh no, if you go down, it's not fun. But nah, my guns are already that I take on armies of sentinels without super trying. So it's like, yeah, nothing in here is actually going to be that frightening. It's mostly just ensuring I have a lot of sodium to recharge my shield. They try to make it like you're going back and forth between looking for these emitting machines, but it's like, or I could just have a bunch of sodium on me and that recharges my anti-cold environmental control thing for my suit. I just constantly plug in more sodium. Sodium is not hard to get at this point. I've got, oh man, like 1400 sodium, and it takes like 60 to recharge my environmental thing. So it's like I could just spend like 20 minutes inside this thing if I want to, and not even make a significant dent in my capability of recharging myself. But it's got a lot of loot in there. You usually average between 2 and 5 million credits per run, and usually a few interesting stuff. Oh, and frigate upgrades, not the salvage types, but like straight upgrades in like your freighter's normal inventory or other modules to up its stats, or the stats of the missions you send your frigates out on. It's like support passive stat stuff. So it's like, you know, you get to the end and the computer's like, alright, do you want like a storage module or like a module? And it's like, alright, I'll take the module. And it's like, cool, here's a thing that like gives you a +5 rating on your like exploration missions like automatically. You know, like sweet. Because basically it means that the stuff like that usually means that you can send either fewer ships or lower level ships on harder missions, which is more efficient for a variety of reasons. Lower level ships use less fuel, you're upgrading them, so then later you have more upgraded ships, which means you are more likely to have a bunch of high-level ships when a very difficult mission does pop up in the roster, which I still have not actually seen a 5-star mission show up, so I can only imagine the sheer amount of, you know, craft I have to chuck at that thing to get the most out of it.
Yeah.
It's probably going to take like 27 hours to complete or some nonsense, because, I mean, 4 stars are 22 hours usually on average. And then I come back and it's like, alright, here's the debrief. I've been to 17 systems. Like, oh, good. So here's a little story with some profit or some resources for all 17 systems we visited. What's actually kind of cool is that you can track what systems they went to through the galaxy map. Like, if you open a galaxy map while you have a bunch of missions out, you actually see a bunch of systems with the ship icons around them showing where your stuff is. And as you're playing, you get little notifications from your comm of like, this fleet now entered this system and is checking this thing out. And then if things go poorly, you get a notification, hey, this ship is, like, really damaged. You can either push them to continue doing their thing, or you can recall them for repairs. I usually recall them for repairs, because, you know, well, I don't care to lose frigates. I mean, they're still, like, just because I can buy a bunch of them, they're still, like, a 2 million a pop for a dirt cheap one. Like, it's still money, man. Especially when, like, the repairs, when they come back, is like, plug these, like, 20, like, no whatever resources into it. The downside is that you have to go there in person to do it. So it's like, go spend, like, 7 minutes and use resources you already have a ton of to repair it. And usually, if I remember to go and talk to the captain of that frigate after I do the repairs, you usually get a bunch of resources back. Way more than you spent. For some reason. I don't know. I should probably do the Wild Rider Red and Red Ink combo for the stripe on it. Yeah. But yeah, just in like one stream, No Man's Sky has completely replaced Hall of Torments for me for a little while, basically. It doesn't hurt that at the same time I've been binging a lot of HFY stories. You know what those are?
No.
So it's a type of short story, a sci-fi short story. It's like a sci-fi short story. Some of them aren't so short, but anyway. Subgenre. It stands for Humans F Yeah, in which all of them are based on sci-fis where humans are considered like overpowered in some way. And it's all these stories of like, you know, for the easy ones are like, you know, first contact with humans and we're just like death world monstrosities that just barrel through anything we want. A lot of them involve a lot of other alien species that like are effectively made out of tissue paper. It's like a reasonably strong human can just punch straight through to one of these aliens' torsos. So like all the other sci-fi's in reverse, basically.
That's funny.
The there's a really funny one where it's from the perspective of an alien lieutenant, I want to say, or captain, anyway. And they're doing their first combat drop with the new human it was like the UN Interplanetary Marine Corps, and he's like, these humans, especially this one detachment, every single mission they just get medal after medal after, you know, combat award. Like, how is this so decorated? I must see for myself. And they're on the drop pod. Their version of drop pods is like 40 people inside this tub, but anyway, they're in a drop pod on their way to the planet for a hot drop. They're like 2 hours out from the actual landing. And they're like in semi-meeting mode, I guess. And then they hear like a thump. And they're like, well, wait a second, we shouldn't be getting shot at yet. We're like way out. And it's from one of the other compartments. And there's some humans in that room. And then there's another thump. And it becomes 2 thump. And the other humans in the room smile. Thump, thump, clap. Thump, thump, clap. And then the aliens, like, they start just screaming about this, like, person. I don't know who they're talking to, that I guess is, like, on the streets and having a real tough time, and something about rocking it, like, throwing rocks at people. I don't get it. Like, they're talking about stoning, and they're just, like, screaming this thing. And this alien is just, that alien, all the other aliens are just losing it. It's like human war drumming or whatever is terrifying. Like, that was the whole It's like, yeah, they're doing Rock You by Queen. It's just like, yeah, it's imagine like 30 U.S. Marines, because they actually were like U.S. Marines, 30 U.S. Marines, about like an hour out from combat, in full gear, begin doing We Will Rock You.
That's some hoorah shit right there.
Yeah.
Hoorah shit.
There's another one. This was actually my introduction to the whole genre, and I loved this. I was listening to it while I was tearing down my shed. It was Humans Avoid, or Why Humans Avoid War. Okay, so in this story, it's a decently long one, but general premise: humans have been on the scene for a while now at this point, and some points to know. Now that I'm painting a stripe on this, I can really tell just how like off kilter I made this thing. This thing is not aligned at all. Anyway, I think by the time I'm done, you won't really be able to tell.
It's a half-open Big Mac box.
Sure. Oh yeah, because when they get like diagonaled or whatever, even though they're quote-unquote closed. Anyway, this galaxy has an aggression index to help like track, keep track of species and like how to deal with them and consider them and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like I want to say it's like a 10 level. I want to say it's like a 1 to 10 thing, with 10 being the most aggressive, most militant. Humans have been considered a 2 this whole time, because as soon as we stepped on the scene, we just went super diplomatic. Like, really diplomatic. I mean, like, absurdly diplomatic. Like, all the time. And that, to the point that other aliens thought that we were, like, a super peaceful species. That, like...
Until the diplomacy stopped working.
So, what happened was, a situation came up in which this, like, AI-led faction showed up and started wrecking the militant species navies. And then they're, like, towards the end of this really poorly gone battle, and, this alien colonel is like, okay, we need to get ready to retreat. Is there anyone out there that can help us? Like, someone send some help. For the love of God. Is there anyone left? And this was about thousands of ships, by the way. This was like tons of ships. So many ships. Humans show up. And there's like maybe like 200 of the militant species ships that show up. 5 human ships show up. Which, by the way, like the alien colonel me is like, are those human ships? Do they have military ships? Is that a thing? I mean, thanks guys for showing up, but like, why? Like, just run with us. And of course, like, you know me, I'm grinning ear to ear when I'm like hearing the setup. I'm like, okay, all right, this is about to go a certain way. The human's like, no, we got this. Don't worry about it. The alien colonel's like, what are you talking about? Now, like, you played Mass Effect, right?
Of course, it's one of my top favorite games of all time.
Right, okay, this is like the equivalent of like you're fighting like the Reapers at like the last mission of Mass Effect 3 in like the space battle part of it, and you were losing, and then some Volus ships showed up, or like Hadar ships showed up. It's like, why? That's the equivalent of like what the alien colonel is seeing this. Like some Volus ships just showed up.
Like 10 L-Core in spacesuits.
Yeah, exactly. That's
annihilate everything.
Well, that's what happened. It's like, okay, the human admiral is like, okay, guys, and fire, and they fire out these 5 missiles, like just 5 missiles.
All of them nukes.
Way worse. It was like, it started with a nuke-like explosion in space that then proliferated. It was like, like nanite. It was like nanite technology. So, like, think gray goo weapon, basically.
Oh God.
Yeah, that, that was the opening. There was then a runner ship sent to basically like the space UN. This messenger walked into the space UN, looking like he was going to pee himself on the spot and couldn't stop nervously looking at the human representative, which no one else could really figure out why. Like, huh, that's weird. So what happened? The humans did a thing. What do you mean the humans did a thing? They killed everything. What? So, turns out no one had really looked into human history and realized that we avoid war because we are hilariously good at it compared to the rest of these aliens. We've been sitting on super weapon after super weapon after super weapon just in case. Just in case.
Just in case.
Just in case it came up. Like, no one had any idea that we were spying on literally everyone all the time. We had like dozens of different kinds of super weapons, and then when they tried pulling some nonsense because they were scared, there was a faction that came up of this of certain diplomats that became anti-human because they just got so scared by the situation that they tried threatening Earth. Little did they know that we had a dreadnought already built, just kind of hanging out in stealth. And then showed up at the the space, the galactic capital, just basically Coruscant, and immediately nuked their largest defense station, which was on that planet's moon, which also took out most of the moon. And then they tried shooting their other stuff at the dreadnought, and the shield capacitor guy in the human dreadnoughts, like, alright, so our ship's shields have been reduced to 96% capacity. We've just been stealthily advancing military technology, like so much. It's kind of crazy. Then we just drop like one ship's worth of Marines to save our embassy that had been set upon by a riot made by one of these anti-human diplomats. Yeah, that didn't go well for people that got in the humans' way. Man.
That is terrifying.
And the whole time, by the way, the humans are like trying to be like super peaceful, like they have been, but it's like, okay, but now you like different things forced our hand to play like the big dogs. Yeah, no, very literally. Like the entire time, every single human's like, how do we do this like peacefully? And all the other aliens are like losing their minds because they had no idea the humans were like this capable, and still somehow putting on like a peaceful view of things. And you see for like one moment, like the space CIA the humans have, like one agent shows up and he just cleans house. It's like, oh yeah, no, we still got a CIA, and as usual, no one knows they exist. That doesn't even also involve the part where, you know, AI faction? Yeah, there was also a whole part of us dealing with that, which, there was a section of a single downed human pilot bluffing the AI controlling this entire faction, convincing it that it held in its hand a gray goo grenade, a nanite grenade, when it was actually just a flashbang. But the AI had never run into a alien species were nearly as crazy as the humans. Yeah, like there's a whole subgenre of the subgenre. No, it's just a sub-genre. Like, there's a few different channels that do narrations of this. Just look up, like, either Sci-Fi HFY or Humans Are Space Orcs. That's a whole, like, sub-genre. It's called Humans Are Space Orcs.
This would be like a really good like TV show. I'd love to watch this shit, bro.
Oh, there's so many different versions of this. Like, there was another one that was, like, okay, I got two in mind. There's one that's, like, okay, so a lot of space combat is basically everyone's got lasers, and it's based on you trying to predict where the enemy's going to maneuver to hit them with the laser. And it pretty much just comes down to who's got more ships, because who's got more ships can shoot out more lasers and then more reliably get hits. And that's like the whole, that's combat. That's all of combat right there, basically. So one of the sides absorbs Earth, basically, peacefully, but now like humans are among their species pool. So they give us some technology, and it's like, all right, start building warships. So when we call upon you for your, you know, your oaths, it's very like feudal, in the like we summon you on your oaths of military support kind of deal, right? So the human ships show up for their first combat, and it's not a lot of them, but they're like shaped really weird. And the leader's like, okay, what'd you guys do? Didn't we not give you designs? And they're like, well, you gave us a bunch of stuff, and it said make ships based on the technology you gave us. It's like, okay, well, you have a giant, like, solid shield thing in front. I mean, that was done a long time ago. I mean, maybe it would be relevant again to shake things up, but, like, I mean, alright. Where are your lasers, by the way? Oh, yeah, those, we decided just... There were better ways of doing this. He's like, what do you mean? Are those missile tubes? You know, missiles usually get shot down in like 3 seconds before they ever hit anything, right? You know, about that. Hey, you see that enemy dreadnought that's leading the enemy fleet that's currently annihilating you? Yeah? Fire missiles. Sir, their missile just like disappeared. What? Oh, hey, the enemy dreadnought, that disappeared? What? Did you guys put the FTL in the missiles? Humans are like, yeah, why? Were we not supposed to? They put the blink drive in the missile. And the aliens like... The aliens, like, we've been, like, fighting like this for 1,500 years, and you just came along in, like, 5 seconds, just put an FTL in a missile, and just thought you'd change the game, huh? And the humans like, yeah, pretty much. What?! Excuse me? You did what now? Another good one was... Oh, I'm remembering a bunch of them now. I'm trying to remember the other one I thought of with the ship one. Oh, okay. So, most combat doctrine is based on air and space power. You basically just have boots on the ground to hold ground and call in air or orbital support, right? And because of that, this bird-like bird/reptile race that can fly inherently have kind of dominated combat for a long time. And so the humans show up. Because humans, wouldn't you know, are extremely good at ground-to-air combat. As you know, we kind of have a lot of that technology, right? We kind of had that as soon as we had air technology.
Our spaceship shit too, probably.
What's that?
It's probably more advanced than all our spaceship shit too, probably. We've had it for so much longer.
Well, not just that, but also all of our ground tech. Because everyone has been using space age stuff for so long, they kind of forgot how good, I don't know, bullets and railguns are. So, this bird reptile race tries invading human territory, and then ends up having to constantly put boots on the ground. And the boots in the ground and the boots in the air are getting annihilated because they're bird people getting shot with bullets. Additionally, we apparently are the only ones using powered armor. Which I guess, I don't remember why that was a giant up, but it was a real big up. Also, because of like how good tech was, all of our tanks also function as perfectly good anti-air platforms. Because, you know like that anti-air, like, minigun we have on ships now? The phalanx or whatever? That's now just on tanks. We just put that on tanks as well. As well as a slightly slower firing version for the main cannon. With bigger bullets, obviously. So it's like, yeah, about that air power of yours, right? So the entire, war just turned into us, finding a bunch of different ways of forcing them into a ground invasion. And then, well, you get the idea. Bye. I'm currently. Oh, yeah. First Contact. It's a slaver ship. Picks up the first man to be FTL'd off his ship. That obviously didn't work quite as well as they would liked. This guy's
just start jumping individual people into deep space.
Well, no, I mean, like, he's on the first ship to be FTL'd, basically. Like, the first manned FTL craft. But it was meant to be a publicity stunt. But something goes off, and then he gets picked up by slavers. Doesn't know that they're slavers initially, but ends up, you know, learning soon enough. In that galaxy, there's a, world rating system of, like, habitability. In which one is like a paradise world, and then once you hit like the 7, 8s, they're called death worlds. Guess what grade Earth is?
Like extermination level.
You'd think like a 9 or 10, right? Just based on the thing. Yeah, try 12. The crew afterward, or like during like the initial examination, is like, wait, this guy came in armor? Yeah, it's like Enviro armor. Are you sure? We can barely move this thing. After he took it off, which by the way, he just agreed to take it off. He was playing very cool about the whole thing. Because obviously well, I mean, okay, first off, he was a lieutenant commander. So like, he's smart. He's legitimately not an idiot. So he's just playing cool about the whole thing. Turns out later, he can quite readily, literally rip these things, like most of these other alien races, in half with his bare hands. Because of the combination of our high grav and just the way we evolved being way more efficient. At one point, he's like, what even is the gravity of this ship? I am very light on my feet. Was that also the same one where he, like, got shot? I remember someone got shot, like, in the chest on a pulse rifle on medium setting and was like, well, that's gonna bruise. Right now, I'm currently working my way through a very long series that's called, oh, what's it called? I need a Death Worlder. In which a ex-Marine woman gets recruited as a bodyguard. And is just consistently, casually taking apart other aliens. And, like, has to be careful even, like, moving around her client. Because she could quite literally accidentally snap this woman in half. Like, the client in half.
Relatable. Keep going though. I'm sorry, I'm just that jacked. My bad.
I mean, she's pretty jacked for humans, but humans are considered Death Worlders. So it's like, there's other Death Worlders around, but like it's such a jump from quote-unquote normal people to Death Worlders that they're commonly called their own category called, you know, they call them Death Worlders. People call them Death Worlders. There's one part where the human got captured, and then that group has a Death Worlder enforcer of another species, and they're like, the humans escaped! Code Monkey! Where's our Death Worlder? And the Death Worlder's like, right here! And then like charges into battle with the woman. This Death Worlder has, I mean, I don't remember the description that well, but something to do with the horns. Think Minotaur-esque. Yeah, even with support of non-Death Worlders with electroprods, the power in that room goes out, and the woman walks out in one hand with a black horn, and in the other hand one electroprod's just like fizzling from all the blood running down the shaft of the prod into the electricity. Yeah, no one survived that, by the way, by the time she left. Might have something to do with the fact that they were traffickers, slave traffickers, that also specialized in newborn odors. She was not plussed about that.
God, I never set my thing to fire at them. No wonder I've been taking damage from nothing.
Oof. So yeah, it's been a nice change of pace from going from reading so much like Warhammer to where the average human is the equivalent of the Doom guy. And it does make me realize this is not out of the realm of possibility. We could actually go out into the universe and find out that humans are really strong comparatively. Like, I'm not entirely certain why there was always this obsession with the idea that we are puny as a species. Especially considering that we are the apex predator of our world by a margin. And our world is not exactly kind. So the idea that we could go out into the galaxy and discover that we're Death Worlders, I'm realizing is not so unlikely. Although when you think about it, even in 40k, humans are pretty dangerous. It's just we're not dangerous individually. It's the fact that you never find just one of us.
True.
We are a horde, I mean... It's, you read the couple... you read some of the novels that are from Xenos perspectives, and a human crusade begins rolling in, and the Xenos are quite disturbed. I remember when I read Path of the Warrior, which is about striking scorpions from the Eldar. There's a part late in the book where Space Marines assault the craft world. Holy crap, it really put into perspective how absolutely devastating Space Marines actually are. We constantly get these books from the Space Marine perspective where they're getting romped because that's more entertaining. But actually seeing Space Marines doing missions they're supposed to do, like taking on Eldar. Oh man, Striking Scorpion walks into a hangar. Nothing but smoke and missiles everywhere, or like description of missiles. Like you'd think they were getting strafed by like Apache gunships. No, those are just tactical Marines with bolters, because bolters are missiles, and we keep forgetting that bolters are literally missiles. It's smoke and noise and fire. And then this striking scorpion goes on to become one of the like the heads of the temple, and then even connects with the Phoenix Lord or whatever. And then the Phoenix Lord gets romped later by just a box knot. Like a dreadnought. Which, like, I know on a tabletop, we're like, haha, box knot. Box knots are like nearly 15 feet tall and can take out, like, main battle tanks without much difficulty. We keep forgetting that somehow. Because the tabletop's so wonky with its balancing. But they are literally walking elite tanks. So this Phoenix Lord's just on a hill fighting Space Marines, and a Dreadnought walks up and just punches it into pieces. And it keeps walking. It's like, that was a Phoenix Lord! It's like March of the Ancients, no kidding.
Hopping along the ground, L plus ratio.
Yeah, like, seriously. Like, did not stand a chance. I think this box is almost done. Speaking, boxed death.
Box death. Who killed the box?
No, the box is the killer.
Oh no. It's like that one whole movie of a tire rolling down the road that goes on a Mercury.
Yo, you laugh. Oh, it wasn't a wheel? That's right, it was a harp. What, did I stream that? On that one Chivalry stream? Where this guy with a harp? I mean, from your perspective, it looked like round, like a wheel or something. Got a triple kill throwing a harp at people? Yeah, it was just a bunch of people coming over a ladder onto a wall, and behind the wall was an archer just holding his giant wooden harp and just kept chucking at people as they came over the ladder, including me. Dude got a triple kill before anyone disrupted him. I know it's a triple because I watched the guy in front of me die, then I got hit in the face with it and died. And then in my kill cam, I watched the third guy get hit with it and die. Like, this guy's seriously just throwing a harp, picking it back up, and throwing it again. That's the strategy here.
Does the harp do, like, a bunch of damage or something?
Thrown objects do a bunch of damage. I've nearly killed someone by throwing someone's head at them. Which, to be fair, is a 12-pound object wrapped in a steel helmet. Like,
made a ranged headbutt.
I made someone else do a ranged headbutt, because that guy wasn't headbutting anyone on his own anymore.
It was a non-consensual headbutting, you mean?
Yeah. To be fair, I think his capability of giving consent was somewhat impaired at that point.
Oh, my exes. My capability of giving consent was impaired at that point. She's like traumatized. Uh-oh. Oh my god, what? What the hell, that's just fine. This is the enemy flagship, damn it. What? What?
Do it better.
I don't have the damage to take this thing out. I guess all of you. Shock for charge 2, but ions turn them off. No, don't miss every time, please! Please hit! No, stop missing.
In one story, an alien was said to a human, You can't kill something with a transport board. Later, that human turned... Yeah, no, the human then turns a, it was like a mountain lion-esque creature into soup on so many cave walls. Because what he did is he turned it up, it's just like a board with like an anti-grav on it for like transporting stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
So here's what he does. He flips it upside down, sets the weight it's supposed to be carrying to 2 tons. I think you can already figure out where this is going. And then sets it, I don't remember how the activation thing worked. Basically set up as a trap where, when it was triggered, it would turn on and attempt to lift 2 tons downward. Oh, yeah, also part of it was, like, the amount of distance it was trying to lift it to then, like, hold it above that level. And then set to basically where the floor would be. So, it's a floating board of, like, space-age material above, like, a cave entrance. Set to lift 2 tons, exactly the distance to the floor. The splat was hilariously violent. I'm not joking when I said, like, that mountain lion was soup all over all the walls. As it effectively instantly ceased to exist as a single object.
POV, a single object has come into contact with you at anything over 25 miles an hour. Guess I'll just turn myself to paste.
Pretty much.
Do you remember that old, I think it was, I can't remember, I think it was called Blackadder, a really old movie. And they had that line where like a private walked up to his commander, they were like in the trenches and during a war, and he was like, Commander, what's the, he was like British, he was like, Commander, what's the word here? What's the course of action I wanted to take in case you do happen to tread on a mine? And he goes, well, Private Jenkins, the typical course of action you would take if you were to tread on a mine is to fly 100 feet into the air and scatter yourself over a large area. And the private just goes, right, carry on then.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Alright.
Dude,
I had the best fucking random encounter ever. So I've been trying to defeat the Federation flagship, which is like the big boss at the very end of the game, to get the next ship unlocked. I'm like halfway there, and I had a random encounter, and I just looked it up. It's a 0.01% chance encounter. You encounter the Federation flagship while it's heavily damaged and half inoperable. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. That's why I was like, what the fuck is this? I'm like in the middle of nowhere and I encountered the Federation flagship. I barely managed to defeat it, even with all that like bad stuff on it. And it gives me the next ship unlock, and they were like, you defeated the Federation's second flagship before it was completed. But it still counts as a Federation flagship. So I got the next ship unlock that I've been trying to get for like fucking 28 hours. Oh
nice.
My God. Thank God. And a shit ton of like upgrades and stuff, so I'm gonna keep this going.
2 aliens are playing the equivalent of like Space Stellaris against each other. One of them's playing the human faction. I engage ramming speed. You what?
Ramming speed. When aliens who never had large enough bodies of water for ships to be a viable thing enter human ship-on-ship combat. What do you mean they're gonna hit our boat? Isn't it like made of wood?
Here's the funnier version. Aliens that always use ranged combat. What do you mean the humans are on our ship?
Ours? You're sure? How though?
Well, it seems they catapulted themselves at us. What? They have drop pods that...
They put their men into tiny metal boxes and launched them at us like a missile, and it worked! Do you understand how insane... You know what? Get this private in the insane asylum. He's clearly lost his mind. Gets assassinated by CQC and silencers.
Oh no, what's more likely is... Sir, bulkhead integrity to the command deck is failing. What? Fist punches through the bulkhead.
Just, what?
What? It's like imagine the beginning of Star Wars Episode 1, where he's like cutting through the bulkhead with a lightsaber, but it's just some guy's fist. It's like, wait, what? Oh, that reminds me, in Sword of the Stars, bunch of the aliens were more physically imposing than humans. You know what humans' response to that is? Put every Marine in their boarding torpedoes in giant exosuits. And it's like, I don't care if a 2-ton truck-sized bug comes through that hallway, it's going down! And it's just this woman in a suit that makes her like like literally like the size of a truck, with like yeah, what was the full quote? It's like, I don't care if like a 2-ton bug with flamethrowers for arms comes through that bulkhead, it's going down. Because they're in these giant mech suits, basically. They weren't like mech suits. They were like actual power armor, but it made them the size of like the suits from the actual mech suits from like the third Matrix movie. If you saw that.
Did not, sadly.
No,
I don't. Yes, I did.
Yeah, remember the like gun suits things?
Yeah.
Like how big those were? Yeah, imagine that, but it's like actually good power armor. That's what we armed our Marines with, and then sent them on assault pods to go deal with giant gorillas, giant crocodile gorillas, and bugs the size of trucks, with flamethrowers for arms.
Never wanted to deal with bugs the size of trucks with flamethrowers for arms.
The worst ones to deal with were actually the fish, the dolphins. Because A, their ships are full of water, and B, they're telekinetics. So even though they're very, they're generally pacifists as a baseline, when they decide you need to go down, they, well, telekinetics. Telekinetics. I feel like most people don't realize how absurdly powerful in combat telekinesis is. I don't need to smash you into a wall until you stop moving. I just need to twist the vertebrae, like one vertebrae in your neck enough, or just adjust it to the left by 3 inches. Or not even that. It's like...
No, she's gonna 3-inch you! Run!
Yeah, it's like the 1-inch punch, but it's like the 1-inch punch, but it's like directly to your heart.
They're just like holding something in their fingers, and the person's looking at it like, what is that? And they're like, your L full of vertebrae? My L what? Falls to the ground.
Yeah. No, seriously, I was listening to a creepypasta the other day where it was like that. It was the devil. The devil with full on, like, you know, reality altering power, and just like snapped his fingers, and one person, like every single bone in their body just snapped in half, and it just fell in like a pile. Yeah. I gotta pee. I'll be back in a minute.
Tell me more.
I could bring the... I'm lying, I cannot actually bring my mic in the bathroom. It would be funny though.
I'm gonna stop there.
It just it's just the sound of water hitting water with like an echo effect. Alright, I'll be back in a minute. Okay, so it's Halo, but the Covenant are scaled down to where our average human soldier is the same strength as a brute, and then we still
look like how they look like in game to the average human. In reality, they stand like the same height of an average human.
Yeah, like in the lore, actually, yeah, grunts are not that far off from human size.
Halo Reach and you're playing the missions where you're like dealing with them on Reach and there's civilians running around, they're like forehead to forehead with the grunts, and the grunts have that giant fucking thing on their back that makes them tower over normal humans.
Yeah.
The Spartans are just like more than twice the height of an average human.
Depends on the Spartan, but yeah, actually Spartan height varies dramatically in the lore.
At least Noble 6 was.
I think that was one of the tallest ones, actually.
Yeah, Noble 6.
But anyway, some of these HFYs read like, okay, it's the Halo like Human Covenant War, except humans are like human soldiers are the same strength as brutes, but we still make Spartans. It's like, oh no, oh no, oh man, oh man, oh no. The what was I gonna say? I had more to go with that too.
Keep the shields going.
Would you believe if I told you that I don't want to go back? I'm just afraid that I'll lose you, and
Ooh, and I got a defense drone for free. Fun. Nice. I only have 3 drone slots though. But there's a store! Guess who's getting sold? Your bitch ass.
Me? Mine?
Yep, I'm selling you to my
Okay.
in-game store. You know what I'm buying in replacement?
A drone?
No. I was trying to think of another painting person who has tabletop in their name, but I couldn't think of one off the top of my head.
Micah Ignis, Balefire Forge.
You know
I'm
what,
sure I can think of
I'm just gonna replace you with like
Ruckus.
what's his name? You know what? I give up on this joke. It's past.
Ninjon.
Move on. Move on. I give up.
Miniac.
I concede. Miniac. Yeah, that one. That was the one I was thinking of. I'm like, I concede. I give up. End the conversation, please, before I embarrass myself. Lots of monies, lots of upgrades. What do these guys got? They got a little fucking everything in there. I definitely need all my shields for those things. Actually, I think I can get away with having slightly less shields. Those rockets, fuck all devastating. I'll get my things on. These things on. Turn on one of these now. Reach his bitch ass. Well, everything he knows. Hold steer. Alright. And he boarded my mission. Where'd you board, huh?
What?
The worst place, because I can't fucking combat you there. Awesome. 2 of them in there, too?
So here's the question. I'm almost done with the McMarine here. I am actually very tired. Like mind-numbingly tired in reality. Do I keep going and return to painting the Raven Guard, or do I just stop when I'm done? What?
That is up to you, my child.
I know it is, but I am trying to consider it.
The penultimate demise. Not chosen for.
Is it worthwhile to do so, I suppose? This sword actually came out pretty cool. Not gonna lie. I was
decide what is and is not worth.
Me? That's all I need.
She has got me there. I cannot combat that one chief. Fuck it. Turn on the beam drone. I can't.
The amount of times, especially in like political, philosophical debates, and someone says something like that, like, who is to determine such and such, and I'm like, me. I am.
Who are you to question my determination? Who are you to determine blah blah blah? Who are you to question my determination, bitch? Some anime line bullshit.
It's like, I am a god, and I don't care.
Blaster noise.
That's basically my cleric on any day of the week. It's like, they are a demigod level threat. Did I ask you how dangerous they were? It's like a D&D equivalent of don't tell me the odds. Never tell me the odds. He just jumped off the griffin, did he? Yeah, I did.
Now we got to do all power out of those. Did my fucking breach rock. This guy's scary. Actually, you know what? No breach rocket. Ion blasters. Damaged. Come out of my shield. Starting with combat. Another combat.
Alright. Time to paint the rim of this thing's base. Oh wait, no. I gotta glue on the little... I gotta glue on the actual, box. The Big Mac box. This Death Guard needs its Big Mac. This McDeath Guard. This...
McDeath Guard needs his McMac. If you withhold it from him, he will kill your whole McFamily. Withhold. If they say you can only get 2 sauce packets with your McNuggets, don't you dare withhold those from me!
Yeah,
I
dude.
swear to God. By the Lord of Jesus.
This guy would be like, yeah, this is a McPlasma gun.
Mick, stop it! Mick, stop it! Someone's like fighting inside the store. Mick, stop it, please. This isn't Mick right. This is Mick wrong.
This is a violation of my Mick rights.
Yeah. I'm allowed 2 pickles on my my double cheeseburger. This is a violation of my Mick rights to only give me 1 pickle. But sir, we're all out of pickles. Oh, and you're all out of human rights too? You disgust me.
Yeah, and this miniature is Mick disgusting.
Yeah. You Mick fucker.
Yep.
Okay. Oh my hell yeah, they don't have any rockets. I don't have to give any fucks to them. Just turn everything on. No engines at all. Shields only. And then 15 fucking drones. I feel like you'd actually like this game. But you're not really in need of games right now.
I am not in need of games, no. I've got a stack of games I am ready to play at the drop of a hat right now. And yeah, I have like no time to play them either. It's basically only when I'm utterly exhausted and unable to continue working but also unable to sleep is like basically when I play games right now.
I accidentally let him jump away because I didn't activate my fucking weapons. I'm an idiot. Alright, well I guess I can put some more power in my engine again.
Get rotated, idiot.
Yeah, motherfucker rotated to a different area. Number 1 victory royale, yeah, Fortnite, we're about to
Oh, I was actually making a Adeptus Ridiculous reference. Because I, at least, am cultured.
I revived him, now we're heading southbound. Take me to Xbox, play Fortnite today. We can go to Monkey Myers, but not lose legs. I really love you. Try to get with you.
Hey, sorry, you on Twitter?
Fuck no. I've never used Twitter once with my knife.
Based.
There's nobody I care about who's on Twitter.
Also based. There might be hope for Californians after all.
There's nobody there that I wish out. Like I think I downloaded it like once or twice when I was in like middle school or high school, and then just like used it for a day and then never touched it and deleted it for space eventually. That sounds about right.
Yeah, basically as soon as I heard that there was a character limit, I was like, nah. But I'm on it now for tabletop spread, obviously.
Yeah, for like advertising reasons, essentially.
Yeah, then after my account's a month old, I can stream on there. Like, I can add that to my stream roster. Although, yeah, I think I'm gonna wait until I can get a Wi-Fi adapter upgrade for the streaming PC before I start adding more stuff besides YouTube and Kick right now. Because it's like, I have the upload speed, but it keeps having connection problems after I hit a certain amount of using the upload speed. Which doesn't actually make sense, except that the adapter is just bad because my laptop does not have these problems. My laptop's problem is that it doesn't have the actual CPU to both run OBS and modern games at the same time.
That's sad. Is what it is, though, I guess.
Yeah. I mean,
Like,
it's not...
So.
Yeah, I mean, you can barely talk. So yeah, like, my computer on one hand can...
Is made in, like, 2013.
Yeah, my laptop can either run Elden Ring at max graphics settings with no problems whatsoever, or it can run OBS. Those are your options. Basically just waiting for the base to dry. The base rim.
Fuck. He's around my base. I have to get to him. I don't have time for you, cringe lords. I must save my base. Oh my god, they have like every weapon imaginable too.
Throwing axes?
Rockets, lasers, teleporting bombs, and fucking blasters.
But no throwing axes.
No throwing axes.
Then
Never mind,
not...
they just sent dudes into my ship who have throwing axes. They now have throwing axes. They have the technology.
They teleport in the Frank Axe Throwers from Stronghold 2 to rip back 15 years for an obscure gaming reference of absolutely brutal axe thrower units that you could get as mercenaries that just danced on people. Which makes sense. They were Frank Axe Throwers. Did you ever play that game, Stronghold 2? That might have been a little bit before you. It's actually a pretty fun medieval strategy simulator, mostly in the part where it had really realistic and deep economics. Like, it was all about supply chain. So it's like, alright, so you get the... It was like, you literally set up the beekeepers that then send their wax to candle makers that then send the candles to, like, churches and other stuff. And it's like, you have guys getting wood that then sends the wood to the Fletchers that then makes you bows and crossbows that then you can then equip with your archers that then have to be trained in their own things. Like, it's all about supply chains. So, or you buy mercenaries. But gold's not exactly easy to get either, unless you have a good supply chain. So it's like, take a pick. But some of the mercenaries were really potent. If you were clever, the thief was hilarious because he could just mess up the enemy supply chain pretty bad. But I was a pretty mediocre fighter. Berserkers or Frank Axe Throwers, on the other hand, these guys are a problem. There's also this weird guy that like ran around with a boat on it, like a little one-man canoe-like thing on his back that would allow him to cross rivers really quickly and flank people. They're not super good fighters, so I never really saw them used, but they existed, I guess. The sieges were the real fun thing, though. There's actually a mode where you could just do sieges. and it was actually really hard to siege the castle because you actually had to manage actual siege weapons, like get guys holding ladders to the wall alive. Yeah. To the walls where they have to pass over like tar pits waiting to be lit on fire and ditches slowing them down. And man, how many archers on the walls? Oh boy. Oh hey, there's some crossbowmen up there. Yeah, that guy's dead. It was like literally you make like 20 ladder guys and you throw them at the wall hoping you get 3 to 5 ladders on the wall. Alright, I think the CFC guy is done. Come take a look.
I'm looking. I like them. The McDonald's box really comes through.
Yeah.
I like that's a key feature right there.
No mistaking what that is, huh?
No mistaken at all. That's what really sells it at the McDonald's.
I was told to make the sword Green Lantern inspired. I'd say that worked. Yeah, okay. Oh, no. Do I keep streaming and paint the other dude? My dude. Which would be picking up Honest Pauldron for this very cool Power Fist that I am liking quite a bit. The good lord, is my brain tired. Eh. I'm kind of thinking I'm gonna... I think I'm gonna call it early, because, like, I am... not doing great. In reality. Yeah, I'm gonna stop torturing myself now. I'm gonna go get some food, and I'm gonna chill. And I'll be back to streaming tomorrow. I guess we're painting more, because we're gonna try to finish the Primaris Captain. And tomorrow I'll figure out how we're rolling for who gets the McDeath guard. Is that you again, Backside? Nope. It's just random noises coming from GTA. Alright, well, I will catch all the good people later. I'm slowly dying. See you tomorrow for serious painting. Oh, there's Sai. Sai, get on the mic. Sai! Whatever, I'll tell him outside stream. Bye, people.